Alright folks, welcome back. Today I want to have a focused conversation about scoring calculation, or more specifically, what kind of mental math do I do, when I pick up two 8s here and then these 3s and it says it's a full house. How do I know how many points this is going to be worth? Or maybe I actually don't care precisely how many points this is. What I care about is this enough to win here? What I care about is, maybe I want to save my glass card for the future. I don't want my glass card to break. So instead of playing the glass 3, what if I play this 3? Is this then going to be enough points, even without the glass? Or maybe instead of playing this steel card, if I play 2 pair instead, you can see it's worth about the same number of chips. Instead of 18 mult for the full house, it's 11 mult for the 2 pair, but we do get the steel card. And so does there exist a universe in which playing the 2 pair is actually better? How can I tell? For my jokers here, let's say you're in the shop and you see something that you want. Maybe there's an X3 joker, like the trio joker, and I want to know, okay, which of these is the weakest link? What should I be selling in order to replace it? Or on the other end of the spectrum, if I have this blueprint that can copy whatever my best joker is, what should I be copying? Should I be copying this times 1.7 ramen, or maybe I should be copying this flat plus mult from the flash card, or this chips from the runner? Those types of considerations. Now, before we get into it, I do see some folks, they say, well, when I pick up these cards, the game already knows how many points this is. Even before I hit the play hand button, the game already knows how much this is going to be worth. And so why doesn't it just tell me? Why doesn't it just give me like the honest score preview here? That's how it is in Slay the Spire. That's how it is in Monster Train or other, deck building roguelikes. Well, we did a poll and the votes are in, and the vast majority of players, they prefer not knowing. They prefer, not having the score preview. I think having the score preview, it's just a different game. I think it sucks a lot of the fun out of the game for a lot of people. And so, if that's not what you're into, if you like how Slay the Spire does it, then go play Slay the Spire, I guess. I will say that there are external tools that can help you with the scoring calculation. There's a Balatro hand calculator where it's pretty easy to select different enhanced cards and select different jokers, and it'll just tell you how much it is, and you can easily toggle on and off the different jokers to compare and stuff like that. For me personally, that takes me out of it, right? This is not necessarily a super immersive game, super immersive experience, but when I'm playing, I want to be in the moment. I don't want to be taking too much time with the scoring calculation. And so you've seen me in my videos, I just kind of do real quick mental math, and sometimes it's sloppy and sometimes it's inaccurate, but it's good enough, right? And so that's what you want, right? What you want is, okay, how do I compute not precisely but quick enough and accurate enough, right? So let's just start with the base hand here. So ignore all enhancements, and let's just say this is a full house. Full house is 215 chips and then times 18 mult. This chip number here is a little bit misleading, so it matters a little bit, the extra chips that we get from our cards. So here plus 8 for an 8, plus 3 chips for a 3, and you know how that goes. So maybe, with these it's an extra 20 chips or something like that. Again here, once you have the leveled up, once you have the planet cards that level up your full house, the extra 20 chips from your cards don't really contribute that much. So we're just going to ignore that. We're just going to go based on this 215 here. And okay, maybe it's not that hard to figure out what is 200 times 20 here, but let's say I don't know how to do that. Let's just look at sort of relativistically how much things are worth. So let's do the jokers one at a time. So ignore everything else. Let's say the only joker we have is the flash card. What I want to know is, how much does the flash card do? How much does it contribute? Well, here I've got about 20 mult, and then this raises it to 70. If I go plus 50 on top of 20, it takes me to 70. So how much more is 70 compared to 20? That's what the question is. And so that's 3.5 times, right? So from 20 to 70, that's 3.5 times. So this flash card is currently acting as a times 3.5, basically. Then, okay, let's consider these chips here. So sort of independent of your mult here, if you get plus 200 chips, if you have twice as many chips, that's twice as much your score. 3 times as much mult, that's 3 times your score. And so those are sort of separate. So we can go here with the runner. This is 260 stacked up here, but then also plus 50 from foil. So let's just say this is 300, okay? So this runner, 300 chips, 300 on top of 200 is 500, right? So from 200 to 500, that's 2.5 times. And so if I only have these two jokers, so flashcard is times 3.5, and then the runner is times 2.5. And so if I only have these two, which should we copy with the brainstorm? We should be copying the flashcard instead of the runner. And I think generally that's true. I think if you have, once you have the leveled up hands, so here level 8 full house with 7 earth cards, then you get enough chips from your, just the base here, the base 200 chips, that the chips jokers fall off. So even runner giving us 300 chips, wow, that's kind of like a lot of chips, falls off when we have the higher level planets. All right, now let's compare, something like Fibonacci. So, how do I evaluate these two, comparing Fibonacci to flashcard? So, on the surface here, Fibonacci is going to give us plus 8 for each, 8 and 3. So if I play 5 cards, that's 40. That's easy, right? And so 40 on top of 20 is 3 times. So from 20 to 60, that's 3 times. So sort of on the surface here, okay, the flashcard is 3.5 times, the Fibonacci is 3 times. That's separately, if I only have one or the other. But if I have, one on top of the other, then it becomes a little bit more complicated, right? So let's say, flashcard takes us up to 70. And then if I go another 40 on top of 70, that's going to be 110, right? So we've got these two together, that's 110 mult, and then plus, 300 chips from the runner. So now the question is, with these three, how much, or, what should the blueprint be copying, right? So starting at the flashcard, if the flashcard is giving us, takes us up to 70 mult, and then plus 40 on top of 70 is slightly more than 50%, right? 40 is slightly more than 35, so 40 is going to be slightly more than 50% more. So starting from here, starting from flashcard, if I add Fibonacci, this extra Fibonacci is a times 1.5 on top of what we already have. Or you could think of it the other way. If I have, Fibonacci takes me up to 60 mult, then adding the flashcard is something like times 1.9 or something like that, or times 1.8 or something like that. And so now if the blueprint comes in and is trying to copy one of these two, then, the difference between 110 and then another plus 50 on top of 100 is another times 1.5, right? Whereas if I'm copying this runner, the 300 chips is more than this 200, right? And so if I have 200 plus 300 is 500, and then another 300 on top of 500 is more than a times 1.5. That's more than 50%, an additional 300 on top of 500. And so, with this configuration, I should have blueprint copying the runner. Not exactly times 2 or something like that, not exactly times 1.5, because this is, foil here. So blueprint is only copying the base 260, but it's like close enough, right? Now, now let's introduce the ramen. And so like after all of this stuff here, then we have times 1.7 from the ramen. Times 1.7 is bigger than any of the contributions from any of these. If ramen was times 1.5 or times 1.4, then copying the runner would be better. But, in this configuration, copying the ramen's better if the ramen is at times 1.7. So far, not counting any card enhancements. And then finally, what happens if we introduce the hack here? So hack is going to give us a retrigger on all of our, 2s and 3s, not the 8s, just the 3s. And so, okay, hack is going to give us retriggers on Fibonacci. And so if Fibonacci on its own is giving us 40, and then we get another, retriggers on just the 3s, then that's another 24, right? And so with hack, while I have hack, Fibonacci is giving me 64 or something like that, right? You know, about 50% more than it was doing before. Then that Fibonacci is worth more than this flashcard in this configuration. This is, you know, assuming that the hack is something that we want to hold on to. Like, how much do we lose if we lose the hack? Currently, the hack is only giving us, you know, plus 24 molt. But that's not counting these enhanced cards. And so, you know, here's another consideration. We have, let's say we've got just the one glass card. So let's say we have this glass 8 here, and that's the only thing that we have. Okay, so with this glass 8, this is going to give us a ×2 after all of the plus 8s that we get from the Fibonacci. And so with this glass 8, actually this Fibonacci, instead of being, you know, plus 40 molt, plus another 24 molt, you know, so instead of being plus 60 from this Fibonacci, now this Fibonacci is 60 and then another 60, if this is ×2. So this glass card doubles all of the plus from Fibonacci, and now Fibonacci is giving us 120 molt. And so that happens first, we get the plus 120, and then flashcard happens after. And so in comparison to all of that, now flashcard is worthless. Now flashcard is nothing. And so this is even true if we don't have hack, even, you know, without re-triggering the ×2, even with just the one ×2. Also, we have, you know, if we incorporate the steel card here, steel card giving us another 50%. So, you know, Fibonacci is giving us, you know, let's say 60, and then ×2 is 120, and then with the steel card another 100 and what's it? That's 180, right? 50% on top of 120 is 180. And so, you know, with 180 molt coming just from Fibonacci, now this base 18 doesn't matter. And, you know, this flashcard is worth even less. So, you know, should we do something like this? Should we copy our Fibonacci here? So if all of our molt is coming from Fibonacci, then putting blueprint on Fibonacci doubles all of the molt that we're having. And so blueprint on Fibonacci is functionally the same as, worth about the same as a ×2. So it's actually worth slightly more than copying the Ramen if we copy Fibonacci instead. Or maybe, you know, even better than that, if we do have like the glass 3, then it's better to copy the hack instead, because now we've got, you know, ×3 with, or ×2 with the glass card, and then another ×2 with the glass card. Or even, you know, just ignoring all of the glass cards, if we just have the one steel card, then it's better to, you know, copy the Fibonacci, because hack doesn't give us the retrigger on our 8s. All right, let's talk about, you know, let's say I have this, here's my full house versus, you know, let's say I didn't have this glass card and I did this. You know, would this be, how much less would this be? That's what the question is, right? So here you have a configuration where you get, you know, maybe a ×2, and then you get another ×2 from the glass card, or from hack maybe, or, you know, potentially with the blueprint you get another ×2, you know, ×8 on top of that. You know, what happens if I do it with the steel 3 instead? How much am I losing? Well, you divide the score by 8, and then you take 2/3 of that, because if the steel card gives you plus 50%, then your score goes down to, you know, from 150% down to 100%, so you lose 1/3, right? You go down to 2/3. And so typically what I'll do is I just pay attention to how much I'm scoring in each round, and then from one round to the next figure out, oh, okay, well, how much is it as a proportion? Is it 2 times, or, you know, half as big, or, you know, just compared to the previous round, rather than trying to actually count up all of the, you know, how much everything is. You know, because I'm not going to do 200 times 20. I don't feel like doing that. What I can do is, if you told me in the previous round I had 300,000, and then I, you know, put in the glass card, then that's ×8. So that's going to give me, you know, whatever 8 times 300,000 is. So, you know, even if I don't know what that is exactly, I still know that's big enough. Or if I don't do that, and I play the steel card instead. Okay, so instead of 300,000, now if I play the steel card instead of holding the steel card, now that's only 200,000. Now I know. All right, let's talk about this two pair situation. So the difference between the two pair and the full house, we have 1 less 3 is being played, and so that's 16 less molt from, if we're doing hack and then also Fibonacci, that could be plus 16. Or, maybe the blueprint, that's another difference of plus 24 out of how much? Well, if we're getting, let's see here, with the full load here with the one glass card, how much is this? We said Fibonacci was 40 plus another 24, and then doubled is like 120. And so out of 120, if I remove this, if I take away 24 from 120, that's, what is it, 20% less, right? So that's still 4/5. That's still pretty good. That's still good enough. This 11 here and then this 18 doesn't matter if Fibonacci is giving us 100 molt anyway, right? And then on top of that, okay, so I have 20% less with the steel card, and now the steel card is times 1.5, so I have 50% more. That's going to make up for the deficit. That's going to make up for, not having that extra 3. So actually in this configuration, the two pair is worth more points if we, hold on to the steel card compared to playing the full house. All right, what about this? What if we go 2 steel cards and we play the glass one? Like, that's just plenty of points, right? Let's do this. For the sake of science, I'm gonna play these, and then we said in this configuration, maybe it's better to copy Fibonacci here rather than copying the hack, rather than copying the flash card. And so let's do this. Is that, yeah. Let's do this. And then we'll see in the next round. Okay, so there, we lost the glass 8. This configuration right now, this is 380,000, okay? So in the shop here, I could pick up Steven. Let's not do that. Let's pick up the hand size. I'll pick up, this is getting a little bit bigger. Not that it matters. Do I want this? No. I'm trying to find something that matters, which maybe is a big ask. All right, we didn't find anything. That's okay. Ectoplasm, how about this? Foil, sure, why not? All right, so in the next round, I know there's a configuration where we get, 300,000 points or whatever, and so getting 100,000 is maybe not that bad. So let's look for, 3s and 5s or 8s. Let's look for, what would be a full house. Let's discard this. Let's discard these. Maybe we don't do the 8 anymore. Maybe I don't need this many 3s, so I'll throw away this one. All right, there we go. We got the full house, right? So the question is, how does this compare to what we just did, right? So this, if we're, got blueprint on Fibonacci. So here between the two of these, what I'm saying is, all of our molt is coming from Fibonacci. And so it doesn't matter whether we go, blueprint copying hack gives us the same molt as if we did blueprint copying Fibonacci. Maybe the one difference is if we copy hack, we get more chips because, we get the retrigger and the foil card as well. Now, when we had the glass card, when we had the glass 8, we were able to see that it was, sorry, we can move the flash card over here if you want. Anyway, we were able to see that we were able to get, 380,000 or something like that. So without the glass card, this will be half that much. It'll be closer to 190,000, almost 200,000. maybe closer to 200,000 since we have the foil. So, I know that this is going to be enough to clear here. Let's say this wasn't 100,000. Let's say I needed to get 300,000 again. Then the way that you would get 300,000, okay, if I don't include this steel card, then the steel card, this 2 pair, is actually worth more points. So instead of 200,000, I don't know, maybe ballpark 250,000 is my guess. Let's find out. Yeah, something like that. So there we used less material, we used less glass cards, we didn't have the ×2, we played only 4 cards for the 2 pair, but we actually got more points. Let's see if I can find something else. Technology. No, we don't need any of this. We don't need Shoot the Moon either. Let's just go next. Alright, what if I do it this way? What if I just play this full house? Then we don't get Fibonacci. Well, we do get Fibonacci on the aces, right? Marginally. We don't get hack here. We still get, this from the flash card. And so, if we were in the previous round getting something like, 250 molt or whatever, then this flash card is contributing 20% of that, 1/5 of that. So maybe this flash card wouldn't have mattered before, but it does matter now. And so maybe I would guess that without Fibonacci and without the hack, with just the flash card, I would guess that this is, maybe, like I said, 20% of what we were scoring before. So, maybe this is like 70,000. Or, with Blueprint, I can copy instead. I said copying this runner is going to be about the same as copying this ramen, or perhaps more. No, I think ramen is still better right now. It's slightly more than ×1.5, whereas copying runner is the same as ×1.5. So I'm going to run it like that. Or what's a flash card? Flash card is +66. So, is another +66, how does that compare to another here 2/3? So 66 is more than 2/3 of 66 + 18 here. So 66 + 18 is 84, and so 66 is more than 2/3. So it's actually better to copy the flash card here. And so what should this do? So 70,000, if we add another, let's say 2/3 on top of 70,000, maybe like 110,000 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Close enough. Like I said, you don't need to know exactly how much it is. You just need to know, is it big enough? Is it at least big enough to score there? And I was thinking that it wouldn't be enough. And so, we at least have that information. Now, if we want to go, let's say, discard here. All right, so we've got the 5s and we've got the 3s here. Now with the glass card, okay, well, how much is that going to be worth? So we tried this. So ignoring this 3 here, let's say we did this 2 pair with the steel card. We said that where we had Blueprint copying the Fibonacci, we said that was worth about 350,000. And so, without the steel card, 350,000 is now closer to, what's 2/3 of 350,000? I'm going to say it's like 250,000. Okay, 250,000. And then if I have, let's say the glass card copied with hack, so then that's going to be ×8. ×8 on 250,000. My guess is this is going to be 2 million if I do this. Let's try that. Maybe I miscounted my my ×2s. That's about $1 million. Yeah, the ramen's weaker, but that shouldn't have made that much of a difference. Anyway, you know, to wrap it up here, this is how I think about it, is I think about, you know, how much is the base, and then each contribution, how much is it on top of that base. And so, you know, going back to sort of the basics here, if we have 200 points, then an extra 300 chips on top of 200. This is a times, how much is it? Times 2.5, right? From 200 to 500, that's a times 2.5. And then if I use Blueprint to copy it, that is another, how much on top of that? You know, how much is another 300 on top of 500? This is another times 1.6 is what this is doing. Or, you know, with the plus mult here, with the flashcard, the first instance of flashcard, that's going to be times 3.5. And then if we copy it, that's going to be something less than a times 2, right? Anyway, I hope some of this was helpful in any kind of way. Good luck out there.